This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Ready to rock and roll. Alain, Poupart always getting it done. Any truth that yesterday you held a funeral procession for Jakeem Grant now that he is no longer with us and he has gone way north to the Bears? Any truth to that you held some kind of a ceremony?
No, I attended. You're the one who conducted the ceremony.
I don't blame him. I can't defend it once you start dropping punts. I can't defend.
I wrote something though that after the trade, I'm looking on Twitter and everybody's just taking shots at him, making jokes, and you see the memes, the drop pass from Tua last year against the Bengals, and then I'm like, whoa! I decided to write something like, okay, fine, he needed to go, no problem. Well, we're gonna forget like every good thing he ever did for this team.
Right.
I mean, the guy was a 6th-round pick. He lasted 5+ years, set the franchise record for kick returns for touchdowns. Maybe the best returner in team history.
No, it's not even close.
Certainly in a conversation. Okay, so
close.
I mean, let's not just dump on the guy because his performance started to wane. He did some really good things for the Dolphins.
By the way, what are we doing now? I mean, it's Flo and Greer made progress the first 2 years. Now they've had 4 shitty weeks, and everybody, you got a bunch of people just, it's over. He can't coach. That guy can't draft. That line sucks. The quarterback's done. I mean, and it's 4 weeks, and one of them was a win. But really, I mean, they were making progress the first 2 years. There was a lot of good vibes. I get it. This year was about expectations. They had none the first 2 years. But we're kind of doing, not we, because I haven't given up on them yet, but there's a lot of people, as you know, Alain, have given up on all aspects of this team.
Yeah, the problem is they're going in the wrong direction. Had they moved up more incrementally, it would be more palatable to see what we're seeing right now. But the fact that they went, first of all, they had no business winning 5 games with the roster they had in 2019. Then last year, I mean, they jump. I don't think many people expected them to go 10-6 last year. So the expectations to me may have been unrealistic heading into this year. I think you and I talked before the season started where I may have made the point, and if I didn't, I should have, because I was thinking that a lot of things went right for the Dolphins to go 10-6 last year, and the chances were that all that storm of everything falling right wasn't going to happen again, including creating takeaways, and they're not doing it at the same rate, and they're keeping that streak alive. But like last Sunday, for example, it was a fumble recovery on a punt return, on a muff punt. So it's not the defense doing it. The defense is struggling because it's getting dragged down so incredibly much by an offense that right now is making the 2004 Dolphins look like the 2001 Rams,
Yep, I'm with you there. So Flo basically said 2 days ago in his press conference that we're fine. Our game plans are fine. It's the players not executing. He kind of really laid it all on the players with that soundbite. And I was a little surprised, actually, that he went that far. Were you surprised that he went that far?
Yeah, I mean, he since has kind of amended a little bit to say, we have to execute it better, we have to coach it better, and all that. Everybody's got to do a better job, and kind of encompassed everybody. But that statement right away that he made on Monday saying game plan's fine. And I mean, it's, I like the communication. I like the coordination. I like what we're doing in practice. Well, then the hell's going on game day then if everything's hunky-dory during practice, because it's been bad. And I understand some of it absolutely is on the players. And I know there was like a very famous overhead shot of a first quarter pass fairly early in the game where Jacoby Brissett has his eyes downfield. He's got Jalen Waddle running from left to right, completely uncovered, 20 yards downfield, and then decide, no, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to throw a little swing pass to Savon Ahmed. for 5 or 6 yards.
Right.
That's not on Flo, but again, it's not everything is not on Jacoby Brissett. Everything is not on the offensive line. At some point, yeah, absolutely, the scheming and the game plan leaves something to be desired. You cannot be as bad as the Dolphins were on offense until the fourth quarter on Sunday without every facet of the operation being to blame.
I know, but it's funny because in the end, it is on Flo, because the only reason Jacoby Brissett is here is because of Flo. That's it's kind of this whole Patriot connection thing. It's all over. Oh, I want Kyle Van Noy, but now I don't want him. I want Karras, but now I don't want him. Yeah, give me Eric Rowe and bring Justin Coleman here. And oh yeah, no, Jacoby Brissett, I can win with him. And that's why it's kind of funny to me when you tell me, oh no, game plan and everything is fine, but your decisions are ones that are still leaving me scratching my head going, you don't use Gesicki enough. You used him this final week finally, but Parker, you throw to him late. You don't throw to him early. I don't see Jerome Baker blitzing the quarterback like he did last year. Where's the amoeba defense that actually helped you out at times? I haven't even seen it in the first, 4 weeks. There's a lot of things and players that I can start to point at. I still think Myles Gaskin is your best player. So why aren't you using him? Don't give me this pass protection shit. If he's running the ball, he doesn't need a pass protect. So get him out there. Use him as a wide receiver. Use Ahmed as a wide receiver. I want to see more of that. There are things that I can point at and say, Flo, what are you doing differently this year than you were last year when you were succeeding? And there are certain factors that I just mentioned that are not part of the ingredients right now in their games.
Yeah, two points I'd like to make, if I may, is number one, I agree with you. Myles Gaskin is the best running back on this roster. Having said that, with all due respect to Myles Gaskin, he's kind of okay. I mean, to me, the bigger issue there is why in the hell did they not take all the opportunities they had over the last two drafts to get a guy? And they saw one against them on Sunday in Jonathan Taylor, who they could have had instead of, and I hate dumping on the kid, but instead of Noah Benagany. I mean, that one is like completely crazy to me.
I think it's the X situation scared the crap out of him so much. He had the domestic issue at that moment and the knee, and I think they kind of felt they needed to draft an insurance policy at that moment, and obviously has not worked out for them. I get it.
Well, and then if you're going to go, okay.
And by the way, let's also be honest, because you're a draftnik like I am. Taylor was a sack of injuries too. People were worried about his durability at the next level. Correct? Right?
I was pounding the table for Jonathan Taylor. To me, he was.
But he had his injuries that did scare people. Yeah. That they thought he wasn't going to be durable. Although it's not like this team has ever been afraid of players that aren't durable. So,
like they signed somebody like Will Fuller in the offseason or something. Oh, sorry.
Tua and Devontae Parker. And so, it's like, there's a history of taking people.
Here's the other point. I'm going to stick up for Flo and Greer here, because I do believe every move is made in tandem. I don't buy people dumping on Chris Greer. If you don't think for a second that Flo doesn't have a say in every roster move, I'm sorry, you're crazy.
Hey, listen, you think Flo is not the one that said, no, I'm good with all these young linemen. We'll coach them up. There's no way the GM says, no, I'm giving you young linemen, and that's no. You're in charge of the 53. He thought he could coach those guys up, okay? Yeah. So, it's like, don't be so open. Like they're you nailed it, dude. It's a tandem. It's a tandem. They both get the credit and the blame for everything, period. That's it.
In their defense, I know you're dumping on Jacoby Brissett, and it's easy to do right now because he looks like crap. But once Ryan Fitzpatrick goes, and there's no way he's coming back because Tua was the guy, tell me how much better they could have done in free agency to get a guy with some experience, and I don't mean garbage time, and then a guy who understood that you were coming in pretty much as the backup. And I think at the time they signed Jacoby Brissett, pretty much everybody was in agreement that considering the situation, that was about as well as they could do.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who was available in free agency. That's the only problem I have with having this discussion with you. I don't have the ammo right now in front of me to know, but I will tell you this. I was one of those idiots saying, no, that's a solid backup. Now that I watch him play, I never want to see him on my team ever again. You know, now that I've gotten a taste of Jacoby, I play scared Brissett. You know, I want nothing to do with Jacoby Brissett ever again. And now I understand why Indianapolis parted ways. But I'm trying to remember if there were any other veteran names out there available. There wasn't?
Look around, okay. Look around the league. Look around the league. Find me like one really good backup. I mean, the Steelers right now are watching Big Ben decay before their eyes, and there's not even a question about removing him because their backup is Mason Rudolph, who's just
so bad,
mediocre. Right. Correct. So bad. There are no great backups in the NFL, and to me, I thought Jacoby Brissett at the time was a fine signing. I expected him to be a lot better than what he's shown, and so did you.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if somebody signed a veteran backup somewhere that Miami could have signed, and I'm just nothing's coming to mind. You might be right. You know what I mean? You might be in defensive Greer and Flo. He might have been the best option out there, unfortunately.
Yeah. After I'm done with my hit, I'll research it and I'll send you a quick message so you can read it on there. But going back to Brissett, though, I have some fans telling me, like, why don't they go to reach the net? They can't do any worse. Oh, really? You watch. I mean, the kid played a great preseason game against the Bengals, who had nothing but their backups in the game in the preseason finale when they're not showing anything. Okay, if we really expect a guy who's a college free agent,
you're losing anyways, and the dude's digging a hole in every week of the game, and then has to try to bail himself out at the end by throwing out. I can't argue with fans that say you can't do any worse, because really it's almost like you're going in with the white flag waving when you have Jacoby Brissett, because you're playing with a quarterback that's playing scared right from the get-go. Check down Charlie. I mean, he's Chad Henne part 2.
I don't disagree with you, but I think you're going to.
You know what? No, I just realized it. He literally is Chad Henne part 2. Holy shit!
Check down Jacoby.
Exactly like Chad Henne. Wow.
But check down Jacoby doesn't roll off the tongue the way Chad does.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It doesn't sound the same. Yeah, so it's your job out there, guys and ladies out there listening. What we need a nickname for Jacoby.
Just dump it, Jacoby. No.
Just dump it, Jacoby. Okay.
So
not bad. It's better than check down Jacoby. So okay. Just dump it, Jacoby. What are you hearing of anything on the? I know they don't allow you guys in to watch what's going on with the offensive line. You kind of get a feel there's going to be some changes, or do you not feel like there won't be any changes this week?
And I had a fan send me a tweet message saying he's hearing that Greg Little starting at left tackle. I haven't heard that. I would have no issue with it because Austin Jackson's still having the same issues in pass protection. He can't handle the speed outside. You just can't.
No, plus you're going to get somebody hurt. Unfortunately, you have to think this way now, that he is going to get somebody hurt the way he's playing. Really?
Correct. But that's a tough one though. Is you're looking at a guy and it's kind of the same deal with Benogany, where you're a year plus removed from the guy being a first round pick, and to make that move, you're not going to have him sit down just so he can learn and all that. It's not like hockey where you play 82 games and you sit him in the press box for one game, to observe. You remove him from the starting lineup now. Where do you go? Where do you go with Austin Jackson after that? So I think it's going to take a whole lot for me to see them moving him out of the starting lineup.
Just slowly Brissett.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Well, man, whatever they do on that line, I hope it improves, because if you're going to turn this season around, it's up to those guys right there, man. Because when you do get Tua back next week, if you don't give the kid time, they're toast. They're toast, man. And listen, you can look around the league. The guys that are having success, they have a couple of seconds to throw the damn ball. You know what I'm saying? You better take care of this kid before by the time he gets back here over the next week. So what would be the goal this week against Tampa in your eyes?
Stay healthy. No, I'm just man, that's a tough match. And here's the thing though, is Tampa Bay is they have their own struggles. I mean, they're beat up in the secondary.
Well, they'll get Stephon Gilmore this week.
Well, Scuttlebutt is apparently.
Well, he won't play till the week after anyway, so it doesn't matter because he's not available till week 6, right, or something like that.
Well, no,
because he's released.
He's on top, but now he's on a different team, so I don't think that applies anymore. But supposedly, everything I'm hearing is Green Bay is the favorite to land him. So.
Really?
Deal with that. Yeah.
Wow.
But the Dolphins need to get creative with their passing game because it's the Tampa Bay secondary is susceptible. You're not gonna run against Tampa Bay. Forget that, because ideally that would be one way to take pressure off the pass protection. But nobody runs against Tampa Bay, and I don't see the Dolphins moving Vita Vea off the line of scrimmage anytime soon. So, I mean, if it means 23 screen passes, to get something done, then that's what you got to do. And on defense, come up with a plan. The Patriots kind of did a good job against Brady and that offense on Sunday night for the most part, and then come up with that kind of defense against the Bucs on Sunday. Obviously, it's
Patricia beat him last year.
Sorry?
Patricia beat him last year, right? Didn't Patricia beat him last year?
I believe he did. And the Dolphins beat him last time they saw him in the Gillette Stadium.
Right.
So it's not like they can't get done, but.
Yeah, a win against Tampa would be so enormous because you can beat the Jags and you're all of a sudden you're back to 500 again. And that would be just a beautiful thing overall. By the way, what are your thoughts on grab ass Urban over there in Jacksonville? How's he's lost his team right there, right? I mean, he's done.
Did he ever have it?
No, he has.
I mean,
no, but what I'm saying is, if there was any hope went out the window.
And they're coming off their best game of the year, a game that they probably should have won, and then this happens, and then as somebody pointed out, and very rightly so, why the hell is he not on a team plane flying back? You don't have time in the offseason to go back to Ohio? I mean, seriously?
Yeah, or dude, have the blonde just fly over and meet you somewhere in Jacksonville after you land and talk to the team, and then you can get your rocks off and then go home after that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, give me a break, dude. And then did you not figure out that there would be cameras? I mean,
no. And then
look, Alan, you and I have been at this for a long time. Okay. When I've been going to the Senior Bowl for a long time, so long that when Sammy's was open, I would be talking to scouts and coaches at Sammy's.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking 15 years ago, 20 years ago. No cameras, no phones, no nothing. You talk now to NFL people and hey, where are you going? Well, I got to stay under the radar. They don't even want to. Normal human beings, normal men, forget about Urban Meyer. That's not normal. Normal men, they don't even want you taking a picture of them with a drink in their hands. That's what coaches and scouts tell me. They go, no, dude, we got to go somewhere where there's nobody because I can't have people taking pictures of me because if I'm having a drink, I'm just having a drink, but then people take it to another extreme. I don't need that shit. That's what I get from people on the road now. Yep. Okay, because can you imagine? And think about it. Back in the day, I'm hanging out at Sammy's. And I'm watching coaches go to the champagne room with women and this, that, and whether they're married or not, I don't care. It has nothing to, but in those days, we didn't care about that stuff. That wasn't what we were reporting. We wanted football information. And I'm talking about DBs and X's and O's and all that. And these guys are talking to me while they're watching ass walk by or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's how this world has changed now, that most coaches and scouts and all that, they're worried about being caught with a drink in their hands. Can you imagine Urban Meyer? This guy's out there grabbing ass in the middle of a bar so everybody can see it. I mean, really, dude, it's just crazy.
But again, this is what you get with a college coach who is used to being God in his little town, his little community.
That is so true.
And this is one of the major dangers in hiring a college coach to coach in the NFL. It doesn't work like that. And you hear all the stories about how his assistant coaches are like fed up with him already. I mean, dude, they played 4 games. I mean, it doesn't work. I mean, when's the last? I mean, and it's not like us in Miami don't have any experience with that. Cough, cough, Nick Saban.
Yeah.
You can be the greatest.
But at least you won't catch Nick with any of that bullshit. See what I
No, but Nick couldn't relate to
Nick might be an asshole, but he's a hard-working asshole. You know what I'm saying? He's really dedicated to his football team. That at least I will give it to him. He would never, oh no, you guys go, I'm not going to go on the plane. Are you crazy, bro? That at least I would give Nick Saban the credit of being a true professional as a coach, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
I agree with you, but you'd still have the same whole issue of I am the master of everything that is around me because I was the college god, and that doesn't work in the NFL.
Yeah. Herb is just a different kind of slime. That's the problem about Urban Meyer. He's just slime. It's just a different thing. All right. Injury wise, how are they this week? Raekwon Davis comes back this week. Looks like it.
He's at practice today. Flo is saying is hoping he's going to be back. Doesn't want to make assumptions early. I'm going to guess he's going to be there. Byron Jones not at practice Wednesday. Got a quad injury. Not exactly the team you want to be facing with a depleted secondary. And of course, we have the news with Will Fuller going IR earlier today. So out at least 3 games.
Is it $10 million guaranteed?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. All right. Because I was wondering, because of the injuries, how long another injury, do they have to tolerate it? Can they cut him and save whatever prorated that's left on his contract? Because, I mean, I love the deal because it was a 1-year deal because obviously he's a sack of injuries. But unfortunately, he's turned into what he's been.
A sack of injuries.
Yeah, a sack of injuries. So it's like, what are you going to do with him? So you're kind of stuck with him. And I'm sure he's more frustrated than all of us because he'll never get that long-term contract. But damn, dude, that's been really, really and he just made a play too that kind of helped you out, and you were like, okay, this guy might be able to add something.
And a lot of it is bad luck too. I mean, he goes down for a bad throw by Brissett, and I guess I'm going to guess they wound up like hitting him like right on top of the finger, broke a finger, and then boom, there you go. No, it's. Obviously, at some point, it's no longer coincidence when you're always hurt, but there are some things that are just freak injuries, and that's obviously one of them.
All right. What does Flo have to do in your eyes to not be on the hot seat for the next 13 games?
Have the offense show improvement, not have many more games like the clunker they had against the Colts, which was really, really bad. And it's not so much that you lost a game. Is that it was 20-3 in the fourth quarter. You didn't have an offensive play longer than 12 yards until that fourth quarter when you were down by 17 points. Every single play that they had that was longer than 12 yards came when they were down by 17 points. That's embarrassing. So I think even if they finish 8-9, even if they finish 7-10, if they're competitive in most games and the offense improves through the course of the season, I certainly don't see reason or cause to believe there'll be a change coming. But if you have a couple more clunkers like we saw Sunday, then I think all bets are off.
All right, we'll wrap it up with this because since I've been doing the show for the last couple of hours, I can't say I've kept up with everything live at the moment. I've had some Dolph fans telling me they should go after Jalen Smith at linebacker, at least for a 1-year deal here for help. Your thoughts on it? Could Jalen Smith help out these Miami Dolphins?
I don't know that it'd make a huge difference. I mean, I think part of it, the issue of linebacker right now is they're not getting many big plays from Jerome Baker. What I can tell you, and this comes from my SI colleague in Dallas, Mike Fisher, who reported that the scuttlebutt was that the Cowboys talked to the Dolphins at the draft to try to move up from 12 to 6 because they were hot and heavy after a cornerback, which was a position of need, and they dangled in the move up Jalen Smith, and the Dolphins obviously didn't make the deal. So maybe that provides some sort of an insight as to their thinking on him. Obviously, their part of the issue was they didn't want to move back down from 6 once they made the trade from 3 to 12 to 6.
Right.
But the other part of it is, but Jalen Smith is a great story. Like, I mean, let's not kid ourselves. I mean, and he was a fabulous player at Notre Dame until he had that really unfortunate injury in that bowl game. But now, how much of a difference maker really would he be? To me, I think the bigger issue at linebacker is get Jerome Baker to do what he did last year. Remember last year he had 7 sacks. This year,
I know.
He doesn't have one. They're not doing a whole lot with him, and he's getting decent tackle numbers. But I mean, I don't notice him out there very much.
No, I don't, and that's kind of one of the questions I would have for Flo on that one. All right, follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL, and of course you can catch him here a couple times a week. You'll see him again with us on Sunday in the postgame show when we're talking about a Dolphins victory over the Bucs. Right, that's what we're going to be talking about in the postgame show. Right,
a major upset of the week. Yes, absolutely.
All right, and remember the following Sunday, it's breakfast at
Wimbledon.
Miami Lakes. Yeah,
Wimbledon.
Breakfast at Sports Grill. So we're gonna have breakfast. So you're more than welcome to come live and join us if you want to. Because I know you're not going to London, right? SI is not footing the bill for you to go out to London, right? No, I didn't think so. Plus the beer's warm. You don't want warm beer. You want cold beer anyways.
I'm not a beer drinker. I'm a wine guy. So.
Oh, wine guy. There you go. I love it. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL and catch him here. Alain, as always, you're a stud, my brother. Thank you for taking some time.
Have a nice rest of your week, and we'll talk on Sunday.
You got it, baby. Be good. There you go. The great Alain Poupart and our Sports Grill Miami Dolphins Insider Report.